What's up, everybody? It's time for your 205 live review on the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, and I mean always, an instant classic. And we're talking 205 Live, 5/30/2017 edition to be specific. So the last episode of May, which is crazy. We're in the 6th month of the year already, which is wild as well. But pretty good show. We started out the show with Noam Dar versus Rich Swann, which was a good match. I feel like we've seen this match a lot, though. Am I wrong? For some reason, it feels like we've seen this match like 8 million times. Am I
Yeah.
wrong? Okay. I was just wondering, just for some reason, like it feels like we've seen this match just so much. I guess the only difference was Noam Dar obviously was flanked by the beautiful Alicia Fox, and obviously, and Rich Swann was flanked by Sasha Banks, which was kind of weird because they like I just thought it was weird that they promoted Sasha Banks being there so much and then she didn't really do anything. Like like they were like Sasha Banks gonna be on 205 Live. Oh my! Then she was just kind of outside the ring being a valet, and I was like, wait, what? Like I thought they were gonna do something more than that, but I guess her and Alicia did get in a brawl on the outside. I guess if that counts. But pretty good match. I think these two put on good matches together. I feel like I say that a lot with these two because we've seen these two together a lot. So, but good match. I just thought they were gonna do more with Sasha Banks. That was kind of my only issue. Like they promoted it so much that like they're oh my goodness, Sasha Banks gonna be on the show, and then not really anything. But Noam Dar does get the win, I was actually a little surprised by, just because it feels like Rich Swann has been on the upper hand of this whole rivalry since it really got going. So, but nice to see Noam Dar get a win, and I'm glad to see it because it feels like Alicia Fox has been getting the upper hand on Sasha Banks, oddly enough, but Rich Swann has been getting the upper hand on Noam Dar. So it was cool to see Noam Dar get the win here. But still, it's, like I said before, it was kind of weird that you would think Rich Swann would win just because Sasha Banks is there or something like that would play some sort of role in it. But no, not really. But Casey, thoughts on Noam Dar versus Rich Swann?
this was a match, that I didn't really care about because, like you said, we not that it was bad. It's just I feel like we've seen it so much, and I want to see something with Cedric Alexander like added into this. It felt like they were building that up, and now they just have Cedric facing jobbers, and it makes me question, the storyline that they had going. But and also I don't know. I mean, I guess it's cool to have Sasha on there just to kind of get more eyes on the show because a lot of people still don't watch 205 Live. But I still feel like they didn't build it up enough on the main roster, and like you said, they didn't really do anything with her. They had like that little brawl, but that was about it.
Yeah. Let's jump into the next match. I hope I'm not skipping any segments. I know we had the Cedric Alexander interview, but that was right before his match. Um, was there another segment I'm missing?
Probably, I don't know. I may have kind of skimmed through the show.
Oh yeah, I forgot you did. So I mean, so those segments wouldn't matter anyway because you didn't watch
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
But next we had Cedric Alexander versus Corey Hollis. So Cedric Alexander did have an interview before the match, basically saying basically talking about how he doesn't want to waste time. He's already wasted enough time with the injury, and he doesn't want to waste that much time. But uh, this was a jobber match, is what it was. I mean, it was. Corey Hollis was here, and I was like, I've seen this guy before. I know I have. I think he was in a tag team or something on NXT at one point, jobbing out as well. But it was pretty good. Nice to see Cedric Alexander back. I just wish there was kind of some purpose for him being back. Like I'm fine with him being back, but I wish there was a little bit more purpose behind it. But whatever. It was an okay match. I mean, it was just I thought it was weird because with 205 Live right now, I don't know if you necessarily need jobber matches for guys who've already debuted on the show. Like I think it makes sense for like maybe guys who are just debuting, but for like Cedric Alexander already debuted and he's already been in a storyline, so why is he in jobber matches? I think logically it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But Casey, any thoughts on Cedric Alexander versus Corey Hollis?
Yeah, now that you mentioned that, yeah, that was Corey Hollis. I knew I recognized him, and I just couldn't put the name to the face. And I don't know. Like I said, I don't. He doesn't need to be in jobber matches. Like I understand, like maybe one after he comes back from injury, just to kind of make sure he's 100%, so he doesn't get hurt again. But you don't need to. It's not like you're trying to build him up as a monster. Destroying jobbers. We already know what he can do. And Corey Hollis doesn't need to be jobbed out. I mean, we've seen him a couple times in NXT. I think we actually saw him in Ring of Honor. I think he was in Ring of Honor before too. So, he's a good wrestler. They just need to push these guys and not put them, like you said, 205 Live doesn't need jobber matches.
All right. Let's jump into the next match, which was Drew Gulak versus Mustafa Ali. I do want to point out Drew Gulak's interview after the match, which I liked. I like the way they're building Drew Gulak's character. I think they're doing a good job with that. Trying to build his character as far as the no-fly zone, the whole, better 205 Live thing. And I think he's doing a good job with it, even like post-match interviews, like he's still doing a good job with it, still staying within the confines of the character and everything. I love how Mustafa Ali came out with the dive to start the show. Not start the show, but start the match. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, that's a good way of starting it. And I felt like I like Drew Gulak's offense as well. Like I like how purposely trying to stay from diving and everything. Which I don't know if necessarily he's a diver anyway. Like he's not necessarily a guy who dives all the time anyway. So I definitely like this match. I thought it was good. I just want to see kind of how they're gonna build this. And like I feel like we say it every week, but it just needs to be said. The Gulak thing has to go past Mustafa Ali. Even if it's after this rivalry, somehow, some way, it's got to go past Mustafa Ali and go, more. Even if it pushes him towards the championship in some form or fashion, I wouldn't be necessarily mad with it if it continues to build that character. But Casey, thoughts on Drew Gulak versus Mustafa Ali?
Yeah, I like the match was pretty good. I still like I like the storyline and I like what Drew Gulak's doing. But like we keep saying every week, I want it to be more than just Mustafa Ali, or more than Drew Gulak just going after Mustafa Ali. Like we said, I think we said it last week. If this was on the main roster, it would make more sense because not everyone on the main roster is like the stereo. I don't want to say stereotypical, but that's how they're booked as high flyers. Whereas on 205 Live, the majority of them are the high flyers kind of superstars. So it doesn't make sense to just go after one person on the 205 Live roster. And like we said, also, it could build up a lot of good kind of other matches, not just Mustafa Ali and Drew Gulak. And I feel like they used to do storylines like that where, you would feud against not necessarily just one person, but a bunch of different people, and you kind of have different matches. I think that would be something good to bring back to kind of give you, keep storylines feeling fresh. Because I feel like, and even from talking about Rich Swann and Noam Dar, we like the feud. It just feels like it's getting stale when you have the same matches over and over again. So if they did something where Drew Gulak is going after the entire roster and has different matches against different guys every week, that I think that would be better than what they're doing right now.
All right. Let's jump into the last segment of the night with Austin Aries coming out to gloat about him making Neville tap to the last chancery in a tag team match with he and Jack Gallagher against Neville and TJP. He did make him tap, and then he zoomed in on it a little bit and made him tap, even though whoever the producer is decided not to show it. like, like they're still showing Austin Aries, and we couldn't tell that it was zoomed in. But okay, it works. But I like this, and I like Austin Aries coming out to gloat and kind of coming out to show that maybe there is a little chink in Neville's armor. He's been the king of the crew. He's been the king for so long that maybe it's time for him to not be the king anymore. Maybe Aries is the one to do it. Neville came out obviously, offended, and he kind of just, this is luck. This is a fluke. It won't happen again. I was kind of surprised that I was surprised that Neville didn't take he took the fluke route. I was expecting him to take another route with this. I got to think about what I was thinking when I was watching the promo. But for some reason, I was expecting him to take a different route. I was expecting him to take maybe and this is just me. I was expecting him to take the typical heel smart route. So the typical heel, like, I just taps, to save myself for the next match. I don't know about you, but that was just me. And I don't know if you even watched the whole segment or not. But I I was kind of curious about that. Like I expect him to take the whole heel. Like I'm smarter than you. That's why I tapped out type of a route than the whole. It was just a fluke type of route. But that was just me. It just seems like it goes with more of Neville's character right now. But that's just my thought process, I guess. But Neville comes out and obviously basically says it didn't really happen. It was just a fluke. One a blind squirrel find nut, whatever your cliche you want to use. And he goes to approach Austin Aries. TJP attacks from behind. He locks Austin Aries in the rings of Saturn. And then they basically leave Austin Aries. He and TJP basically leave Austin Aries laying in the middle of the ring. But it's I definitely like this rivalry. Freaking the way Neville's voice has changed just because of this character is hilarious. I think it's kind of funny that, like you remember how Neville was before, but like now he's just so angry all the time. Like even from the very beginning of this segment, he was just so angry. Uh, like I just think it's funny how much Neville's changed, but for the better. But definitely a good ending segment to set up the Cruiserweight Championship match for Extreme Rules. Casey, any thoughts on the last segment of the
I I don't know. I felt like it went with his character, the whole fluke thing. Just because, he always says he's the king of the cruiserweights. So logically, if anyone beats him, I feel like he would logically say, "Oh, it was a fluke." You can't beat me on it. Any other day. I'm the king of the cruiserweights. It was just a fluke that you beat me. I feel like that makes sense. But yeah, I think this is definitely, building to that, showing that chink in the armor kind of a thing. And he gonna drop the title. He gonna drop the title. He is, and then he's gonna go for that UK title. Don't worry. He going for another title soon. As soon as after he loses the cruiserweight title. But yeah, I mean, as much as I love Neville too, I think we are kind of. I think it's time for a new champion right now, and I kind of want to see what they do with Aries with the title. But I definitely like this segment.
All right. Well, that was your 205 live review for 5/30/2017, May 30th, whatever you want to say. We got the NXT review coming up here in a little bit. So excited about that. Other than that, I guess we'll see you guys next time. If you watch NXT or if you don't watch NXT, you should come back for the review and tell us your thoughts on NXT. or tell us your thoughts on 205 Live. Be sure to hit the subscribe button for us. Comment if you got any comments to say. Please leave them in the comment section below. And also follow us on Twitter at ICW_podcast. We will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed your 205 Live review on the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast.